space that you're in, right? So is going on here. I'm meant to have like a logo account, but I've not been working on it yet because 24 hours feels a little too short to achieve a lot of things, to be very honest. But then I created the account, I started working on it, and then I'm trying to set it up, right? This one is meant to look a bit more corporate, so I try to make it more informative, right? Conversations around brand identity design, where it is I work currently, which is Octave. Then this one links to the art account in case you're interested in what it is I do in art, and the case study takes you to Behance, because after you see the simple logos over here, you just see short information on the logos, you need to go to Behance to see the big picture, right? So what we'll be doing now is going to Behance to go see the big picture, basically. I don't know if we should open. Okay, it's opening. And I think it's up and running. Sorry, I'm not using 5G, so it's not super fast. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Okay. Well, I've not touched my Behance in a while, actually, to edit and update according to as well as I'm growing and improving, right? So one thing you should note about building your portfolio is it's a constant process. There is no, oh, I've done it and that's the end, right? You always have to continue as you improve, you update yourself, update the way you speak, update the language you use, right? If you're an 18-year-old, the way you talk, the way you present yourself will obviously be different from when you're 20 or when you're 22 or when you're 25. So as you get older, as you get more developed, you always need to update your portfolios to match the present you. And I haven't done that in my Behance, so sorry about that. So the Behance in general is just to showcase large-based projects, basically. Full-on information, full-on details into what it is I do, and basically throwing everything about the project into it, right? I think I should use this. And rather than having just simple showcase of what it is you do, you make it so detailed, because this is the you call it the final living. That's what I call it for brand identity. This is the place where everything you do comes onto roost. Everything you've done, you bring it here to make sure that they don't miss a thing. On every other platform, the social media platform, they honestly do not care that much. I mean, how many people care that you're doing logos? Maybe designers and people that are looking for designers to work for them, right? But here, everyone that is here is a creative that cares about your work. So your work has to be showcased as full as possible for you to achieve maximum attention and representation over there. So the project was just full on project, just kept on putting up everything I did that I worked for in the company when I did the project for them. I just had to throw everything in to make it as full as possible, right? And basically, what the conclusion of all this is just when you put in a lot of effort into building your portfolio to look this solid, you never can tell where it is your clients or the people that would be interested in what you do would come from, right? Because there's an hierarchy of balance in what it is you do in your presentation and in the way you present yourself, right? You always end up, and they can easily navigate through to get there. It's not going to be cumbersome. It's not going to be overwhelming because everything is not clustered together. They're all separate and they're all organized in their own little way, which brings me to the last one, which is having a Linktree account, right? Linktree is basically what it is, a tree that creates your links basically, and you have access to everything you are, and you can easily just put all of that there. And from there, they have access to everything it is you want them to have access to, right? So with Linktree, you can easily tell them, oh, this is my Instagram, this is my Twitter, this is my Behance, this is my Dribble, this is my LinkedIn, this is my email. A lot of options are available for you depending on what it is you are using. For developers, you can add to your Medium, to your Dev, to your GitHub, and a lot of other things that you can have there, right? And the goal is to know me. That's the simple goal. If you want to know me, this is the way to do that. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, and I'm all together over here too. And then the client or whoever it is that is interested in you can easily just go through all that and be able to say, oh, okay, you do this, oh, you do that. And it's always fun. I think 2 months ago, my Twitter is basically an NFT haven now because I joined NFT early January and I've been bullish on NFTs all through the year, right? And then this guy reaches out to me on Twitter and is like, "Oh, he sees what I'm doing and he wants me to work on a project for him." And I'm like, okay, well, I don't exactly draw for people because all my drawings are personal. Like I always want to draw for myself. I don't want to create for anybody because I'm not interested in it. And it's like, oh no, 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 not your drawings. I actually want to do a logo. I'm like, you want to do it? Why do you want to do a logo? I've not posted any logo since last year, September, right? He reached out to me this year, February. Like, I've not posted any logo on Twitter since last year, September. And it's like, oh yeah, I went to your LinkedIn, I saw your Behance, I saw your LinkedIn, I saw your Twitter, I saw your Instagram, and I saw the logos you did, and I was like really interested, and I wanted you to do something like that for me too. I'm like, okay, I mean, that's the job the Link3 is meant to do, right? But then, I didn't really think that far that, oh, I've never thought of how it would be when it actually like takes effect and when it works, right? So it was actually like a very, very fun experience. Like, so even after months of talking about NFTs, the fact that I'm still a logo designer does not disappear because I've created my profile and my brand to look that way. So if you want to find out that I do logo designs, it's very easy to find out. All you need to do is just click one link and you're there. It's just that simple. And then the final portfolio that would be your personal website, right? Having a personal website should not be taken with levity, which is why I do not have one yet. There's a lot of thought process that goes into it. How you look, how it feels, the kind of hosting you need to have, the plans you're meant to use, the design structure, the amount you're going to pay, because it's like, you have to pay every year and all the rest. So when you want to do it, you have to be totally committed into it. And you have to be totally committed to updating it as it goes. Because once you create a website, a lot of these social media platforms become secondary. The website becomes the primary focus of where everyone should go to first, which means everything has to be thrown into the website to make sure that it is perfect and it is brilliant, brilliant to the peak, so that from there, it is easy to navigate to your lower subsections, which is your social media platforms and all your portfolio platforms that you've created for yourself. So what we'll be doing, how this relates back to the DSB we're having, which was Bootcamp, is for those that are learning design, product design, and I can't find my Zoom platform. Okay, it is awesome. So I'm going to stop sharing. So what we'll be having is a full course on design where we're going to take design from the beginning, which is history of design, all the way to what is good design, all the way to learning the applications. And then we'll be coming down towards application of all the skills you have into real life: money making, pricing, getting clients, portfolio building, and everything all together to have a holistic career in design. So I'll also be encouraging every other person to, even in tech, when we do get into the part where we are talking about money and building yourself and your brand all together, please do join in with the design team for the skills bootcamp, and then let us all grow and learn together. And as you know, Kelly said, everyone will be interning in the US and in his companies, basically. We also have that in Octave. So I don't know if Michael has already mentioned that, but then a lot of people who learn from this bootcamp will be joining the Octave team as interns and eventually full-time to join us in the team, Luta in the tech team, me in the design team, and IB in the web dev team, and everyone else have to be working together to create something beautiful and amazing at Octave. So thank you all for having me. I would love questions and comments, suggestions, anything all together. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. That was very, very awesome. Very awesome. Okay, we've heard from the man, the brand identity manager and the creative lead at Octave Corporations, and you've seen his work, and he has given us, a roadmap on how we're going to go about the graphic design course, and basically what you'll be doing at the end of the day after you've gone through the training. So, is there anyone that do have any question for him or any of us in the graphics design track that would have a particular question to ask him? If you have, you can just raise your hand. Is anyone here that is signing up for graphic design? Or they're not on the meeting? Okay, we can always take questions later if well, some persons may not know what to ask at the moment, but some may have questions even after the meeting. So we can always reach out to myself or Mr. Emmanuel. Emmanuel, if possible, can you drop your LinkedIn profile link before the end of this meeting so they can connect with you, yeah? Okay, so we have the last speaker today for this orientation, and that's Mr. Luther Adona Caleb. Is the data science lead at Octave Corporation and also the CEO of Octave Data and Analytics Solution, where we use data basically to profile solutions to different business problems and also several things like machine learning, deep learning, data transformation, collection, and basically digital transformation using data. Yeah, so Luther, if you are, yeah, you can just start up. Yeah, we are up to you now.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, can we hear me?
Sure, loud and clear.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Michael, thank you so much for having me here. And yeah, my co-guest speakers, Chris Kelly and Emmanuel, it's really an honor to be here and to also present with you. So my name is Lucy Kelly Onduna, and I head the data team at Octave, and I am also the CEO of Octave Data and Analytics Solutions. So unfortunately, I do not have slides, so I won't be sharing my screen. But my session is going to be more of an interactive session where I'll be discussing about data science, its importance, the skills needed, and other things related to it, and how you will be able to gain knowledge and gain some of these skills through our digital skill bootcamp. So with that being said, before I move on, yeah, Mr. Michael also said something about data, Octave Data Analytics and Solutions. Actually, we are an analytical consulting firm that aims to help businesses and organizations make better decisions by providing optimal solutions in order to help businesses or organizations stay top of their game. So it's basically we're rendering our services to see how we can actually help businesses grow using the data that we can actually get from them. Can we hear me, please?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to start. According to Wikipedia, data science is defined as an interdisciplinary field. Now, if I'm being asked what data science, my own the art of working with data. Can we hear me?
Okay, we are with you now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I think it's a reception from my end. So I was saying data science, different people have their various definitions of data science, but if I'm being asked to explain the concept of data science, I'd say data science is the art of working with data. Now, why do I refer to it as an art? If you remember what Emmanuel, while he shared the screen, you saw some fancy pictures, some very beautiful stuff. So I like to see data science as something like that, where it is the art of gathering information that do not have meaning, they don't make sense, and then putting them together, and then the art comes in where you actually draw insights from what people could not actually see anything in. So that is what data science is. It's bringing data together and then trying to draw insights, most especially to help with optimal solutions or to help in better decision makings. So yes, that is just a very, very short way of telling anyone about data science. It's just the art of working with data. You just need to draw insights. You just need to be able to help. Now, data science, somehow I wouldn't say it's somehow of a superpower, but then and are very the way the world is currently, we're moving to a more digital and a more advanced way of how we do things in the world. And if you actually want to be relevant, yes, you actually have to equip yourself with most of these digital skills. And well, thank God for Octave, who that is actually they have brought this bootcamp, and we hope that learners actually gain the best from it. Now, what the data science is all about is when you equip yourself, yeah, you are very, very much putting yourself out there and taking advantage of this advanced digital world. Because for you to be job ready, most jobs when you see that you have to be computer literate, you have to have a skill or one or two, and then you have to be able to do something that makes you stand out from different people. Just like Emmanuel said, brand, you're selling yourself out. And so data science, since it is a field that actually is in every other field, like wherever you go, there's always data science. Your phones, the Facebook, the YouTube, every platform, everything you are doing online, it is gathering tons and millions of data. And that is why data science is actually important, because it is actually helping these organizations to better improve the way they render the services to us. So yeah, so I'll be moving on to some of the skills needed in data science. For you to actually, I usually tell people before you start a career in data science, you should actually know why you want to learn data science. So you don't just come in and then get confused. Most persons just hear about the money and then they're like, okay, I want to learn data science. And then when they're in data science, you've learned the skill. Wow, okay, what do you want to do with the skill? That is where confusion then comes in. So I believe the first step in learning data science is know why you want to learn data science. If you're in the financial sector, examine your field and then think of the applications that can actually the data science step others, and you know what you need to do to be able to apply what you've learned in data science to the particular sector where you work in. Can we hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. So like I said, I'll be discussing some of the skills needed to be a data scientist or to move into the data science field. Now, number one, to me, this is the number one skill, which I feel is it's very important for you to move into the data science, and that is curiosity. Curiosity, you are eager to know about things. You are eager to know why things are happening. You are eager to know the cause and how you can actually solve problems. So curiosity comes in where you are eager to know, and then you are also a problem solver. So I think these are the two key things that make up a data scientist. You are eager to know, you are eager for knowledge, you are eager to understand what is happening behind the scene. And then once you discover that, you are then able to solutions that are actually results of the problem. You have to be good at times when you say mathematics also, and people think you have to know a whole lot of calculus, differential equations. Knowing math and applying it to data science, you do not necessarily need. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So I mentioned math as a skill, and I said you do not necessarily need to have a math degree or some sort of advanced degree to be able to flow with the mathematics in data science. Yes, the mathematics it's a bit advanced, but it's something that even if you do not have the math background, you can actually learn as you go on. So mathematics, statistics, these are actually like the backgrounds of data science. These are the backbones of data science. So yeah, at some point you do not, it shouldn't scare you because maybe you do not like math, or you do not have, you're not a fan of mathematics. You do know most persons think mathematics is all about calculation, but I can tell you mathematics is not all about calculation. It's once you have something like mathematics as part of the skill set, it makes you also a problem solver. So yes, so once you have your mathematics, your statistics, those are also skills that are needed for data science. And then you move into data wrangling. Now, data wrangling is a very, very essential skill when it comes to data science. Why is this essential? It's essential because this is the stage where you draw insights out from your data. It's more of like the data analytics part. This is where you play with the data to see what information you can actually get with this data, what information you can get from this data, what solutions can you offer using the data that you have. And aside that, we also have the communication skills. Now, to be a very good data scientist, you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to share your ideas. That is very, very important because in a real work setting, while you do all your coding, you do all your math, you do all your everything you need to do concerning the work or the task that has been given to you. When you were presenting these to stakeholders, you would not be presenting the codes you ran or the mathematics you solved, or they are not really concerned about that. What they want to see is what results were you able to get from what we offered you. And that is where your communication skill comes in. You're able to transfer what you have learned or what you have gotten from the data to people that are non-technical, to a non-technical audience. So that is where communication skill comes into play. And in most times when you're not dealing about communication skill, you now have the art of storytelling, and data visualization. Because I believe when we've seen on different occasions where we are being told about some stuff, we do not understand it, but when we see a picture, we get a better view of what actually we were being told. So that same concept actually applies to data science. When you have found whatever you need to do, you have to place it in like a pictorial form where while you're explaining, people you are actually explaining to, you're communicating to, they can actually understand and see for themselves what you are actually telling them. So for me, these are some of the skills. And then, yeah, I forgot to mention, we also have programming. Programming is an essential part of data science. While there are also platforms, local platforms that are actually coming out today to make the job easier for some persons, programming is also an essential part of data science. Yes, it is very, very essential. And while you move on to programming, you have your programming skills, you have your math skills, you have your statistics skills. Then you can then dive into what we call machine learning, which is also a skill needed for data science. Machine learning is sort of a field of its own, but yes, it cuts across data science because for you to carry out machine learning, you need to have some sort of data. So therefore, we can actually see why machine learning actually cuts into data science, and we call machine learning like an aspect of data science. And then we have other stuff like big data, the deep learning, and those are more advanced stuff. And in most cases, you learning these skills or the kind of skills you actually use, it depends on where you find yourself working. Yes, so you might be working for an organization where you do not necessarily need to do with a lot of big data and work with no SQL databases and all. You wouldn't have to work with big data tools like Hadoop or Hive. You wouldn't have to do that. So the main things, the skills that I mentioned are actually the essential skills. Like Michael said, when you learn these skills, it's not like you are learning them and you're going to relax. The moment you choose a career in tech, you ought to know that learning is constant. That is, you keep on learning over and over again, because if you don't, you will be left behind. And by that, you are putting yourself at a very, 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 very huge disadvantage. So having these skills will actually serve as a basic or as a building block on top of which you can then build your career. Because once you have these skills, whatever direction you face, it will be easy for you to be able to pick up the pieces, and then you can then move on from there. So yeah, the skills that I mentioned, we have the statistical analysis, you have machine learning, you have the math, you have the statistics, you have communication skills, you have curiosity, you have programming, you have data wrangling, you have data visualization, and you have the art of storytelling. These are actually some of the most important skills which, for everyone moving into data science, you need to build up on. Because once you have them as your foundation, you can then move into whatever aspect you want to, and then you can pick up the pieces, and then you can go on to do what you want to do. Now, aside that, there are also tools that we have for performing tasks in data science, where you have the programming languages, you have the BI, that's the business intelligence tools, cloud computing, the likes of Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud and Platform, Microsoft Azure, and then you also have big data tools like Hive, Hadoop, Cassandra, MongoDB. So yes, and you also have SQL, which is pronounced as SQL, which is structured query language. This is actually a programming language or some sort of programming language that we actually use to communicate with databases where we do our data extraction from. So with all this being said, one of the things I like to do is when I talk to people about something, I like to give them practical examples so that you can actually understand what you're actually getting yourself into. And then you can see now and think and be like, okay, wow, okay, do I really want to go into this field? Do I fit? Am I fit to do this? Am I fit to do that? So yes, so I'll just briefly highlight some applications of data science so that you can actually see that for those persons that want to learn data science, you can actually see that you're actually making a good choice. It's not like if you're selecting another digital skill, you're not making a good choice, but then you come into data science, you should know what you are going to be up for, what you are going to be facing. So yes, I do not know how many of us watch football here, but the last time Kevin De Bruyne, sorry, please, if you do watch football, can you signify so I know that some persons will actually understand what I'm saying? Okay. So the last contract Kevin De Bruyne signed for Manchester City, the last contract he did sign, he made use of a sports analytics company. Now it's in Kevin De Bruyne, what he said it's not as if he could not make the decision on his own. It's not as if he could not just say, okay, I do not want to play for you people. I want to have a better experience. I don't think I fit into the team. But he had to hire a sports analytics company. And what they did was they gathered data concerning the performances of Kevin De Bruyne. Now you can remember where I said it is the art of data, where you bring in pieces that don't make sense, put them together, and then you try to draw insights from them. So what this sports analytics company did was, from the previous seasons that he had played and his performances, the goals, his assists, and the rest, they brought everything together. And then they were able to determine, okay, how he was actually going to help the club moving forward, if his performance was actually needed for the kind of game and the level at which they were moving, or if it was something that would be too overwhelming for him and if he had to step back. And when the sport analytics company, after they made their decision, they carried out the analytics and all, that was when they told him that, okay, I think this club will actually benefit from you. You are still very fit to partake in this team because you will be an essential team player. And as we can all see, that played out well. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is actually a key player in Manchester City now. So that you can see where the power of data science, data analytics actually came into play. And like I said, it is used to make decisions, optimal decisions. And today, I mean, you can also see Manchester City is actually enjoying what the sport analytics company did that actually made Kevin De Bruyne to renew his contract. Another use case of data science that I'd love to share is in the telecommunication industry. So why am I sharing these use cases? I'm sharing these cases just for you to know that data science can be applied anywhere. It can be applied in oil and gas, where they actually use data to know where and where they are to drill their wells. In telecommunication industries, they use data, most especially for we, the customers, how they can actually improve their services to us. There's stuff that we call customer lifetime value, how long they think that a customer is actually going to patronize them, and if the customer is actually going to churn us, if the customer is actually going to leave or not. This is an application of data science in the telecommunication industry. Another aspect where data science is actually making sense, it's in law. There's, I don't know if how many of us know about IBM, but yes, IBM is also a cloud. They provide cloud services, and at some point, I think it was about last year, I heard that IBM, they had this sort of AI, artificial intelligence platform, where that had to do with law cases. So you can actually see where data science is now going to play into the law field, or these people we call our barristers and the rest. What this platform does is it gathers data. Let's say you have a case, and you have a case on stealing or whatever sort of case you have, and then you go to this platform. This platform then, based on the data that has been gathered from previous cases on the same issues, it brings out these data, yeah, and then it allows the person that is actually going through it to go through it and then see what the steps or the strategies that people who had similar issues, what they did, and how this person can also apply it to his own case. So you can actually see where data is being gathered just for the case of defending a client, you understand, for the case of law. So that is also another use case of data. You can see that data actually cuts into various aspects. In the health sector also, we use machine learning, most especially to predict, like in some instances, we predict breast cancers, we predict when someone has some sort of diseases. So these very short ones I have given are actually very, 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 very good applications of data science. And we see these things every day. We see these things every day. You are operating your phone, and there are sometimes while most of us, we spend like over 80% of our day, we spend it using our phones, our laptops, and the rest. And while we're doing this, you discover that when you're chatting, you have something like an auto text generator. That is, you want to text someone, and the moment you finish typing a word, before you send it, another word comes up. Now, this is also an application of data science, but just that in this part, it is artificial intelligence. Why is it an application of data science, or where does data science come into play here? For the platform, or for the software you're using to actually generate the next word you want to type, it does that because data already has been gathered from previous chats, from previous conversations that people have had, and they have analyzed them, and they have seen that, okay, if this person is sending this now, it brings out a list of possible other words that you might want to say, and this is actually a very, very good application of data science, and it actually falls under the field of natural language processing. So yes, I have spoken about the applications of data science, and we can all go back to do our various research to actually see, so that we can actually know how we can actually apply data science to our own backgrounds, or maybe, okay, if you want to make a switch, so you can actually know, okay, if I'm going into the data science field, I think this is the sector I want to apply my skill to. This is the sector I want to apply my skill to. So that is that for the applications of data science. Now, it now brings me back to the main aim of this orientation, which is the Digital Skill Bootcamp. Now, at the Digital Skill Bootcamp, our main aim is for you to at least be able to get entry-level positions after the bootcamp. Like Michael said, after the bootcamp, there will be internships, and just like Emmanuel said, some persons will actually be interning with us at Octave. So yes, some persons will actually be joining my team. We'll actually join the data team at Octave, and then you can see real applications of how we do things, and how decisions are not just made by theory. They are actually made with proofs, with things that we have done that are backing the decisions up. So from our bootcamp, we are going to start from the very basics in terms of data science. We're going to start from the very basics of data science. Everything I said there is just a summary of what you are actually going to learn in the bootcamp, down from the customer churning, the customer lifetime, down to breast cancer prediction and all. These are things we're actually going to learn. And it's going to be in such a way that at every point, each skill you learn, you will be able to apply it. So at the end of everything, what we're actually looking for is for you to be job ready. Like after the bootcamp and after you've taken the internships, you should be able to apply for positions where you can actually sit down, you can actually go, you can actually speak with confidence that yes, you have knowledge, you have a very strong grounding in data science. So we're going to start from the very foundations of data science, down from what data science is, the applications of data science, the importance of data science, and then where we move to machine learning, which is a very, very critical aspect of data science, applications of machine learning, types of machine learning, and then we get to build very, very, very interesting projects that will actually aid you in building up your portfolio. So that is what the bootcamp is all about, and this is what data science is all about. So I hope I was able to actually, even if you've never had interest, maybe put in a little deposit of interest about data science in you. So that's it for my time. Thank you very much for listening. I am truly grateful. Thank you. Michael, you can take over.
Wow, thank you very much, Luther. It's more like you're giving them the training that you want to get them already in the bootcamp. Okay, that's basically the overview of everything you've been taught for the data science and machine learning track. And there's a difference between data analytics and data science and machine learning. Basically, there's really not much difference because all of them will still use the same thing, which is called data, right? They are all still going to use data. But basically, it just depends on the complexity of the problem, depends on the type of data you're using, depends on the problem itself. That means, because like I said, you need to state your objective in everything you do while you are taking this training. Even in the data science and analytics world, you want to actually be sure of your objective, because that will determine the type of data needed to be gathered, and that will determine the kind of analysis, whether you're going to use just the usual linear regression, or you have to go through machine learning models like K-means or deep learning like CNNs, neural networks, or any other thing. It all depends on what you want to do. Actually, depends on where you are, the type of problem, type of data. And these are things I'm going to be teaching you in Octave. And like Luther said, just so you need to be sure whether or not you would, you fit into this field. You need to really understand why you are taking this training and what exactly the skill will help you do. Okay, because he has listed the essential skills needed: mathematics, statistics, being being able to ask questions, right? And also every other thing. Programming basically is one of the essential skills in data science. You should know how to code and understand coding, but it's not really an essential one for data analytics and business intelligence, because in that aspect, you basically are just looking for correlations, looking for relationship, saying if there's any form of correlation between two different things in the business or in research. And like you explained, it crosses across all fields, sciences, engineering, law, even sports, right? They spoke about sports using Kelvin as an example, sports analytics. So basically anything you apply data analytics to. For instance, I just finished up a private class on data analytics, and this man is a medical diagnostic salesperson. So basically it gets reports from different hospitals, diagnostic reports on different diseases, different things, and then they take it to the lab and all. So it was interested in using the data or data analytics to understand the amount of reports that are coming in, the different clients he has, how much they bring in, the amount everything makes, and basically all that is data. Because I had him, let him, I told him, I said, list down the things you need data analytics to do for you for your job right now, because it basically will help you really appreciate this field. And then we listed out before we said anything at all, he listed out what we've been using analytics for in his workplace. And then we started up the whole thing afresh. We spoke about the field, he understood the field. Then we went into the tools, right? Using Power BI, Excel, Tableau, and PowerPoint to, for storytelling and presentation, right? Which is one of the last steps in analytics for recommendation. And then after we were doing all of those, we now applied everything that he learned to his workplace. And then we were able to make some dashboards and was able to make some analysis on the amount of reports that came in from different hospitals and clients, the amount of clients they have, how much each of them came. He was able to know and identify the clients that brought in more and the amount, and he saw those that did not. So now he was even wondering why those ones that did not bring, did not bring, and why they were low in terms of their turnout, right? And then that's what data does for us. It helps us to see what's happening in our organization, see what's happening, and give us the required action to be taken. Of course, that's where the data analyst comes in. After the analysis, it gives you a recommendation. Because this happened, this is what you should do. So do it and then gather data on the progress, and let's see, and let's compare before analytics and after, and see whether or not there's a significant change. Okay. And I really want to appreciate all our speakers. CK is still on the call, Emmanuel Oyeloye, our creative lead, and Luther, who has basically showcased his expertise in the field of data science and machine learning. And like he said, you're going to be taught several projects, because that's what I'm interested in. I want you guys to work on projects, not just learning definitions or how to code. No. Nobody pays you for being able to code Python or being able to understand deep learning or machine learning. Nobody pays you for that. They pay you because you can solve their problems. And to be able to solve problems, you should be able to work on problems, case studies, using your skills. And if you can do that, you can basically apply such skills to solving problems in other organizations. And that is what you are paid for. So understand the difference. You can be a data scientist and not be able to solve problems because you just know the thing, right? You know how to code, you know the different algorithms, but now you don't know how to use it to solve problems. And that is exactly what you will be paid for. And that's why we have many of them out there that are unemployed and they have the skills. But then in Octavia corporations are going to ensure that you will not just learn the skills, but also use it on real life case studies. And then that is what the internships help you do. After you've learned everything you need to, you go on and continue to advance your learning, and then you work on real life case studies, and then you help you gain work experience. And then you'll be so confident at the end of the whole program. I'm like, wow, I have learned a lot and I'm ready to solve problems. And then you can create wealth for yourself. Okay. So to round up this webinar, of course, it's past, it should round up in next 5 minutes. I want to just share the brochure of the training once again to end this whole the second orientation. The training commences next week Saturday, right? We have a physical venue, and then for those of us that opted online, we shared the links. All links for different softwares needed for the different skills will be sent to those that have paid. Like I said, you can pay instrumentally. So of course, if you've paid at least half, or the amount you could afford at the start of the training, you'll be given the links to download the different softwares needed for the training. That will be done before Wednesday. And also, you should be ready for the training. Like I said, for those of you that are coming physically, ensure you know the time you're going to come in and come in at that time. Okay. I'm just going to share the brochure one more time. That's the curriculum. Okay. The curriculum. Okay. Let me share my screen now. All right. So as you can see, we have the different skills, and that is data analytics, data science. You can see the difference. We have graphics design, digital marketing, UI, UX, web design, development. For web development, you choose either front end or back end, or you do both. Depends on your choice. And then we have robotics. Then we have program management, and you can see the different fees for each of them. We have 15K for those online and 20K for those physical because of the logistics involved in getting the venue, right? To be transparent to you guys, the amount for the venue is about 150,000 naira per day, okay, to be used. But we couldn't afford that due to the the fee we are charging is quite affordable. So we needed to cut a deal with them so that we can use the facility. So people might be saying that it's quite expensive, but I tell you, compared to other places and the opportunities that we are offering, it's basically very affordable. Even the fact that we can't even if about 10% in each comes in for the different courses, we won't still be able to afford um that venue for the next 2 months, which is 8 weeks, which is the total duration for this project. Okay, and yeah, so basically just also refer your friends, connections, families that you would love them to upskill with us and join you to take this training. Okay, and you can see the instructors, each of them already in their groups and they're setting up for your classes. Okay, so some of them will be teaching you physically, some teaching you online, and some will be supervising your projects. As you can see them, they are quite they are professionals, all of them in their different fields. As you can see, Emmanuel here who has spoken to us today, and then you can see Mr. Luther who has spoken to us today. Yes, that's it. So if there's any question, any overall question that you'd like to ask about the training and any other thing you need to know, you can ask now before we end the meeting. And you can always ask me in my DM on WhatsApp or on LinkedIn or via mail, whatever it is that's convenient for you. You can reach out to me or anybody on the Octave team. So is there any questions before we round up this meeting? Okay, Murayo, do you want to speak up? If you want to speak up, you can unmute yourself. Yeah. Oh no, it's not an annual program. It's not an annual program. We're looking at having it about 2 to 3 times more this year. So we have about 2 months for the total training duration, and then the internships based on your choice, you can have it for 3 to 6 months, depending on what you want, right? And then you have a contract with the organization, and then you become an intern. So it's not an annual program. It will be done every year, but in different times. So probably be done about maybe quarterly, right? Maybe quarterly, 3 times a year. Yeah, that works. That works. Is that fine? Have I answered your question, Murayo? Hello. Okay. Also, Luther just finished his season, and I did not ask if you guys had any questions for him. So if you have any questions for Luther, who just spoke about data science and machine learning, please you can indicate and let him answer your questions. Okay. All right. So let me quickly explain the internship again. For the internship, we will place you, in an internship program with our different partners. You can intern in Octave Corporations or with Onyx Education in US, or we're going to submit your names to Skill Up Life, who will place you in different organizations as a volunteer intern in the UK. Or then we have another partner in the Netherlands. So basically, after this boot camp, your names will be submitted to them, and then you choose where you want to intern anyway. Everything, we're having this personalized learning scheme in Octave. So it's basically what the learners want, how you want it, your time, your location, whatever it is you want, aside from the fixed schedule, we are ensuring that we meet up with your own needs. Okay, so we can always have a further discussion on the internship. So I think someone asked a question, that is Maduka. So Maduka, are you asking your question with your mic or you're going to type? Okay, if you can't make it for physical class on Saturdays, I think I need to be clear about what hybrid means. this is a hybrid digital skill training. Hybrid means both online and physical at the same time. So we are going to have physical attendees in the venue, seated down using the laptops, and then we are going to be projecting whatever we are teaching to Zoom for our online attendees, because we have people from several parts of the country joining us. Okay, so basically not everyone can come to the physical venue, and even those in Lagos may not be able to get to the venue. So that's why I said it doesn't matter whether it's physical or online. Maybe some of you likes to want to see your lecturer face to face in terms of and trying to I don't know, maybe one-on-one discussion, or for those of us that does not have laptops, the venue, you know, have several laptops and computers that can be used for your hands-on, you know, practice, right? So it's online and physical at the same time, and it's going to be recorded. So if you cannot meet up, maybe that is why on the forms you have physical, online, and both. So you can attend either of them or any of them. So you might miss, or you might not be able to come for physical a particular Saturday, but then you can join in online. Okay, doesn't matter where you are, and all the classes are going to be recorded and will be sent for those online and physical at the same time. Can a learner enroll in more than one package? All right. Yes. For this topic, I'd like to say that personally, I would advise that you can learn data analytics and any other, because I am in charge of data analytics, that department. Luther is in charge of data science. But I assure you that data analytics is not difficult. I am assuring you because I'm going to take that topic with maybe one other person. Like so, but then I am assuring you that data analytics is one of the simplest skill to master in the world of tech. In fact, personally, I feel data analytics should be known to everybody in technology. Everybody. I feel it should be more like a GST, more like a general studies for technology, because no matter where you are in tech, if you add data analytics to it, it helps, gives you much more, I call it superpowers. Okay. So yes, you can, but you have to be careful. You have to be careful the combination of skills you want to learn together. You can learn graphics design and pro management, that's fine. You can learn data analytics and web, you can learn data analytics and product and all. But then I would not advise you to go and learn the data science and web development. Those two are major, they are quite bulky. So I don't think you'll be able to cope in terms of the amount of projects, assignments, quizzes, and the capstone projects given. I don't think you'll be able to. So for instance, the robotics, imagine you want to join robotics and machine learning together, because robotics is another field where you're going to apply machine learning. So you ought to have understood data science, machine learning before you now go into robotics, because robotics, you have to do what you call with the hardware. You are going to, call it, using the Arduino API, you are going to be building hardware products, hardware robots, okay? And you need to ensure, well, we are Nigerians, we are used to such pressure. Yeah, exactly. We are used to, right from primary school, we used to carry our big school bag that can be used for gym, like 21 topics every day. And then so yes, basically we Nigerians, we can handle the pressure. But because of convenience sake, because we want you to be very good at a particular skill and not just learn too many at the same time and give yourself too many headache. Just focus on one or two at the same time and master it very well before you go to the other. Myself, I started with data analytics, then I went to data science and machine learning before I went into robotics, then product management. And then, I just went on one by one. Currently, I'm in deep learning, right? Using deep learning. And so basically, it's about ensuring you finish a particular aspect of, or you finish all the things required for a particular skill before you move into another, so that you can be very much efficient in your tasks applying that skill. Any other questions? All right. If there's any other question, maybe for Luther or for me, Luther, I think you were very clear with all what you said. That's why there's no much question, because data science, as you've explained, is all about using data to solve problems by applying different form of techniques, right? It could be analytics using the BI tools like Power BI, Excel, Tableau. It could be machine learning for customer training, for recommendation engines, for personalized marketing, right? Using the clustering algorithm. And it could be deep learning for building intelligent software or products like chatbots and the rest. Or it could be robotics where you apply, because like I said, everything still boils down to the data, okay? Your data helps you to know the next step. And before you even know the data to gather, you need to have an objective, okay? Objective. Do not forget that you need to have an objective in everything you do, okay? All right, then I think we can bring this meeting. Oh my God. Yes, of course. You are choosing two different options, and the two different options are charged differently, but there'll be discounts. You won't pay the full price for both. There'll be a discount for both. Okay. And if you want to learn two skills, will you make payment for the two? Like I said, you will make payment for the two, but we'll give discounted prices for both. It's a combined cost. So imagine you opted in for 20K for data science and 20K for web design. That's 40K, but you won't be paying up to that. You'll be given a discount about 10 or 5,000, you know, off the actual pay. Okay, because you are going to get certifications on both of them. You might even be given you'll be given internship for both of them. It's basically your choice, okay? But the two options have their own structure, have their own quiz and assignments, have their own custom projects. Hence, you are basically given a full package for both skills. So you, of course, you have to pay them differently, but then there'll be a huge discount for such cases. So let's endeavor to pay on time, and we can start the class next week. This week is the last week. Of course, there'll be tests. We test every week. We need to transform everyone, in Octave. Your mindset, your thinking, your confidence, your skills, and ends after every lecture, you'll be given quizzes and assignments and tests, and then there'll be a final exam, which is the capstone project. Funny enough, you would have known your final exam topic at the beginning of the class, which is your capstone project. You would have been given the topic because you'll be required to be, working on it every week till the end of the training. Okay, and then you will really feel so um you be so occupied that yes, you are learning something new, and then you're really applying it to something important, right? So you guys may even decide the type of field you want to apply to, maybe finance or agriculture or education or sciences or engineering. You decide where. Maybe you are in the engineering field right now and you want to know how you can apply the skill to engineering. We'll help you with that. Maybe you are in business, you're in sales, finance, or whatever it may be. So you can, like I said, people believe or people think that tech is a particular field per se, like you need to transit it to tech. No, tech is an enabler of fields. So you can basically apply tech to other fields to make work and operation efficient, effective, faster, and make things easier. That's it. All right, then let's bring this webinar to a close. So CK, if you're still there, you can just say hi. Let me be sure you're still with us.
Hi, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you very much, CK. How about Luther? Luther, are you there? Luther.
Yes, I am. So
Yeah.
yes, thank you very much for having me also.
Thank you very much, Luther, for your time. It was very insightful and enlightening. How about Emmanuel, our guy, our brand manager, our creative lead, whatever titles they give themselves in that field. I'm not a creative, so I really do not know how to design anything beautiful. So, Emmanuel, are you there?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Michael. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Do have a lovely rest of the day.
All right, then. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. So, I think we can now prepare for the bootcamp coming up next week. All right, then. The recording for this meeting will be shared in case you want to rewatch and for those that may have missed. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.